I'm going to be doing my overview for my skating skills lesson, which was with Deacon. I ended up starting up with 2 foot glides. I just wanted to make sure that he really had the basics down and that his balance was there. Unfortunately, I did have to spend a lot more time than I thought on the 2 foot glides just because his balance was not really there as well as his body positioning. So I ended up spending a lot of time being hands on, working on where his body needs to be standing up straight, using the soldier reference or being squished between two, pardon me, walls, as well as keeping his arms where they needed to be, which would have been straight out to the side so that his shoulders are facing this where he's going and keeping it straight on. I then moved to my inside and outside edges. I explained these to him. He had an idea of what they were, but I just wanted to make sure that he had the basics again. I spent a lot of time working on just his balance as well. As you could probably see, he was struggling with that a lot. He did just transfer from can skate and used to be in hockey skate, so figure skating is a little bit different for him. This was really evident in his balance and stuff. So focusing on his balance and his positioning and checking was something that needed to be worked on, and I felt that I could take the time to work on this before I started doing crossovers and such, because this is essential to keeping that, making sure that his crossovers are balanced and well. I use the airplane analogy for keeping his arms straight out. This was something I think that helped because it was something he knew and he related to. I also used an elastic band. This really helped with his balance, and I definitely think that I should definitely have used that more. I only started it on the second edge where I could have definitely brought it in a little bit earlier to help him. As you saw, it made a huge difference, and he was able to feel that. Where, as before, when I was trying to hold them, I don't think that went as well as the elastic band did. So that is a teaching aid that I definitely need to take advantage of more in the future. Um, I did go over lesson time a bit because I did work on his 2 foot and 1 foot glides inside and outside, but I did want to introduce him to the standing crossovers just because I wanted to give him something else to work on and something that he could take to consideration, definitely just practice before our next lesson on crossovers. With this being said, I did go over time on my lesson about minute and a half, but I did feel that it was something that needed to be addressed, so I kind of introduced it and then left it. I used the feet talking analogy, which was also a good teaching tool for me. I thought that that worked well in making sure that he was staying square and definitely crossing over without turning. Um, One thing I could have done better is at the very beginning I had my arms crossed and I don't think that was very open. So definitely being more open at the beginning, even just having my arms down, I think that could have been better. Um, I did also find out that he was sick before the lesson, so he was kind of, I would say, impatient, and I didn't know why, and then I later found out from his mom that he was sick, so I definitely think that also had an effect on the lesson um, and how it went. So the things that I thought went well was I spent times on the basics, which he really needed and it really helped. That elastic band really helped, as well as being very hands-on with him and learn and teaching him how to check his shoulders and everything else. Something I could do better was definitely being more hands-on, even though I thought I was a little bit more than previously. I think I could still definitely help him and maybe do a little bit more standstill instead of just explaining, definitely doing that so he can feel it. Some of the audio is a little bit rough, so I just wanted to go over at the 5 minute mark. There's a little bit, it's kind of fuzzy, so I just wanted to let you know that I was talking about checking his shoulders so that he wasn't coming around. I used an analogy of putting a loonie in between his shoulder blades so that he would pull together and pull his shoulders down so he wasn't wearing his shoulders as earrings. And then also at 6.5 minutes, I talked about how when I held him, it forced him to stand straight up, which is something that was a reoccurring theme that I needed to keep introducing and keep working at. So I also think that that was another place where the audio was a little bit off. I think I went through everything.